All right, Dylan, we're in Hawaii. Why was it important for you to come out to this game, kind of a final high school football hurrah for you?
I think all the stars aligned, really. My parents were married on Kamehameha, where the game's going to be played. This is their 20-year anniversary. And I think it's just a great opportunity to come back home, where I'm from, and play a game in front of all my family and friends. When I grew up here, I didn't really play football, so for me to have the opportunity to come back and perform and play in front of my home state, I think it means a lot.
That's really special. What's it going to be like with that connection with your parents and that field and everything? And are you going to be thinking about that when you're out there?
Yeah, I think I will when I first get out there. Just how everything kind of aligned, but once that whistle's blown, it's time to play football.
What age were you when you left here?
I left when I was 10 or 11.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What pride do you take in kind of still being part of that tradition, though, of football? It's growing year by year out here. Every year there's more and more people from the island that are making big waves in college football.
Yeah. I think, Hawaii is a small part of the United States, but there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of kids that just want to get off the island and go do something great in the mainland. And I think football provides a great opportunity for kids like me and kids that are Polynesian playing this game. But Polynesian kids are just great fighters. They're going to compete. They're going to do what they're supposed to do the right thing. And I think that's why a lot more kids are coming out of this state and out of the Polynesian culture.
Well, looking back over the last year or so for you, you had one of the more interesting recruitments of anyone in the country. When you reflect back on it, what was it like going through that process with the spotlight that was on you every step of the way?
I think it was pretty crazy, to be honest with you. But I had great parents, great support system around me to help keep me level-headed through it all. I think it started with having a great season at Buford, just being around great coaches, great teammates, and a community that supported us like we were in college, basically. I think really the focus was all on there for the high school football season, but when that time came to recruiting process and all that type of stuff, I think it was just something on my heart that's been on my heart for a little bit of time now. That I feel like I want to do something different and change the landscape of college football.
What were some of the hardest moments? What were the things that made it tough to go through? Like a day that stands out to you where you're just getting 35 calls or you're stressed about a decision?
I think the day that I had announced I was going on my official, I think that day was pretty crazy, honestly, because I didn't have a chance to really talk to some coaches that I needed to talk to before I went on that visit. But I did make those phone calls. But that was a hard day just because everyone thought I was flipping and all that, but I was still committed at the time. But everything happens for a reason, and I'm happy to be here right now.
What ultimately did Coach Rule and Coach Satterfield, Nebraska, do to sell you in the end?
I think I've been up there a lot growing up. I always was in the building, with my dad being an alumni there. I've seen everything from, I didn't see Coach Osborne, but I've seen the effect that he had on that program. I don't think there was a necessary selling point. I think it was just something that I wanted to do and take upon myself to be a transformational leader in a program like Nebraska, where their fans, great fan base, starving for success. And Coach Rule showed that last year. I mean, they went 5-7, may not seem like it, but you go back and watch the tape. I think there's about 6 or 7 games they only lost by 3 points. So they're definitely headed the right direction, and it's going to be a critical offseason.
You mentioned having that family connection there, so it was always in your mind. But what was different in the end versus early on when it wasn't the right fit initially for you?
Yeah, I think at that time, I didn't really know what Nebraska's program was going to be, to be honest with you. But I still followed. I still believed in Coach Rule, what he would do. And my uncle's on staff, so I could see it from that point of view too. But I think at the end of the day, it was something that I decided I wanted to do. And at that point, it became really, really real. That tug on my heart was, I'm going to go do it in Nebraska. So once I felt that tug, I knew I couldn't just brush it off.
Was there one thing from that visit that really resonated with you in that way?
I don't think one thing. I think really the whole visit of just being able to go hang out with the coaches and just see how we connect and how all the coaches connect with each other. That's pretty rare to see, but I think just the way that Coach Rule has built that program in just 1 year. He's proven to do it at Temple and Baylor.
Yeah.
So there's big things that he can do.
You mentioned the fan base, one of the best fan bases in college football. they've been starved for that program to come back to where it was. What gives you confidence that they can get back to those heights you mentioned with Tom Osborne and everything else?
I think the support of the state, the coaching staff, the players that surround that program. I think all the players are bought in, and the players really believe that we can win. And I think now it's just we got to take the bull by the horns and go to work this offseason. Don't listen to outside noise and just put our foot on people's neck.
For you, development-wise, there, what convinced you that it was a good place to get you to the next level and get the most out of you in your time there?
Yeah, that was something that I thought about was getting to the next level. But if they're good, they're going to find you anyway. You look at the top guys in the league now. Pat Mahomes went to Tech, Josh Allen went to Wyoming. So I think that just proves you don't have to go to a big-time program to go to the league. But Coach Rule's seen it at the NFL level. He's seen it in the college level. And I think it's just playing football and developing you off the field as well.
How has your relationship with Coach Satterfield evolved over time?
I think it's great. He has a pretty funny personality. I think we connect on many different levels. There's some connection there that just feels right, and I'm excited to get to work with him.
What relief was it for you when you finally signed on the dotted line? It was over, basically.
Yeah, I think honestly it was a relief to understand that it was over, and just blessed to be in the position I have been in the whole recruiting process. But to have it signed on the dotted line and be official, it was really a huge weight off my shoulders.
Those final days before that, how crazy was it? How many schools were still pushing? How many were calling?
It was crazy. I think it was on break, so I really had nothing to do other than I work out in the morning for about 6 hours and then come home and hang out with my family. But people were still calling, texting, and trying to get in. But I kind of had my mind made up after that.
You get there on the 18th, you said?
Yes, sir. Well, all the guys get there 18th. I'll be back the 21st.
What's your excitement to get on campus and get started with this thing?
I think right when we get there, we start winter conditioning. I think it's key to get in shape right away. Get there in shape. That's been a big emphasis since the season's been over, and I feel like it's been great. And I feel like I'm in great shape right now. But just dominate winter conditioning, and then get to mat drills. Just dominate and compete. That's what Coach Rowe wants out of that, and that's what he's going to get from his team.
Last three for you, real fast.
Mm-hmm.
What's your personal goal for this first year?
Really haven't sat back, and I think goals are you got to sit back and talk about them and really process them. I think just understanding the trajectory of really learning the speed of college football. Can't get too high, can't get too low on something good or bad. I think you just got to stay the course. Things are going to happen, but you just got to trust and lean on my faith and lean on my coaching staff.
What excites you about the offense and also this recruiting class that you're coming in with?
I think the offense is explosive. They've proven it. At the different places. The kind of system they run is pretty special. And I think we have a bunch of key pieces that can help us, be explosive in that type of way. But it's just going to get the connection down with the guys as soon as possible.
And just lastly, obviously in this day and age, NIL is everything. Going through the recruiting process, how much did it surprise you the way that is a factor, or how did you manage all that? Just kind of how big was that piece of the pie the whole way?
I think it's crazy, honestly, how this all works. I think some of it's a little concerning because some recruits ask what they're going to get paid before they even ask about the development piece. So NIL was never a big thing for me. Even in the end, was never something I initiated. I have my marketing team, my parents, so they all handled that all for me, which is perfect. I can focus on developing and being a kid still while I can before I get to college.
Awesome. Thanks, Dylan.
Yes, sir.